Up the bayou and down the bayou. It's how we tell you to get from one place to the other. It's a little different, but so are we. We're real Cajuns, and once you get here and travel up and down the bayou, you'll begin to understand why our Cajun runs a little deeper. Lafourche Parish, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou, where the bayou stretches over 100 miles and flows through our communities, shaping our traditions, culture, and our story. Most of us have been here for generations, making the most of our rich landscape. We work hard up and down the bayou. Many of our lives are defined by it. As shrimpers and fishermen, oyster shuckers and chefs, net makers and boat builders. We celebrate life on Louisiana's Cajun Bayou through our culture, our food, our music, and the natural, unpolished beauty, and in the handing down of knowledge and heritage. No matter where you go or what you do, along Louisiana's Cajun Bayou, you'll find a piece of our story in the places you go and the people you meet. And as sure as the bayou flows to the Gulf, we want to share it all with you. Come as a visitor, and you'll return as family. We are Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Rich, natural, unapologetically Cajun. Just south of New Orleans, where Cajun runs deep.
Good morning and welcome to One Lafourche.
Today is April 14th, 2021, and it's been about a year since we started doing these programs. And I remember the day that Dr. Clune offered the mass communication department to us to help to try to keep you informed of COVID and the different things that we could do. Dr. Jody Plaisance walks us through every week on statistics and data and things that we needed to know. So we thought the program today would be most appropriate to start with the mass communication department, who's been with us since day one. Mr. Lance Arnold, who's always behind the screen, and my good friend and student, Mr. Brandon Thomas, who's usually behind the screen, but I'm putting you in front today.
Hey man, I could do both, but I appreciate you getting me on the screen today.
Well, it's well deserved. And so, Brandon, you have been with us since day one.
Yeah.
And so what I want to talk about is the evolution of the program from a technological standpoint.
Well, definitely from a technological standpoint, One Lafourche has grown exponentially. When we started off, we were doing projects, getting the studio up and running. We had just finished doing a message actually from the president. That was one of the biggest productions we did to that date. And then when Lance told me about the idea of doing a program from out the studio during COVID, I mean, they had just told me I had to go back home, so I was chomping at the bit to get back up here, get back to work, and inform the community about important stuff like COVID-19 and the death rates and the different things like that, important health stuff. So we started off, it was just it was a show that was like a community access show. We were able to tell the community, get you on here and Doc on here to tell the community about what was going on and important stuff like that. But behind the scenes, we were working up to getting our audio better every show. We were working up to getting our cameras looking better every show. But now we got this thing down to kind of like a science, me and Lance together.
Yeah, and so there have been other moving parts, and we have James also very much integral in the beginning. Mm-hmm. But you and Lance have been here since day one. What I've seen is more cameras. Today y'all hooked me up with an earpiece. So y'all have slowly brought it to a point where we need to let the community know that this is available.
Right, so what we're working towards is actually eventually, getting to the point of being the go-to for, the Thibodeau home area in terms of streaming stuff and different things like that. So we're getting this technology and slowly but surely through the school and everything like that. And we're sitting here late nights. Last night, I was in here till 10 o'clock. I had a guy from Sir Dave Duncan from the theater department come help me because he has experience in audio and stuff like that. He helped me patch all this stuff through with the earpiece. That's a new addition that we have. And so we're just working to get everything to where it needs to be 100% capacity so that we can go forward.
Yep, and so also, y'all are starting to work, I think, with local high schools such as E.D. White.
Yes. So a guy, Dylan Ferreira, he's been in and out of the station. He's a great addition to the team. He is going to work with E.D. White for his independent study class, and he's, I think, independent study or internship, one of those upper level classes. And he's bringing them in, so they're seeing the the next level of what they're doing in their TV production class. They're seeing, oh, this isn't just something I do, in the morning announcements at school.
Right.
I can take this to the next level and do stuff like this on the college level. So that's definitely a big addition to be able to work with the community on a level like that.
Absolutely. So Brandon, as we move forward, and I think Lance and James had mentioned this to me before, that Nichols is actually the only community access station in the area. Are you familiar with that?
Well, I think we're at a point where a lot of people are cutting the cord. So a lot of people are transitioning from traditional terrestrial TV into streaming, different things like that, like we do this program on Lafourche. So I think we're going to transition more towards getting this internet, more of what we're doing on the internet side of digital web streaming in terms of all of our content and different things like that, because in all honesty, that's where everybody is.
Right.
The way the industry is going now, in 2010, that would have been perfect. But now it's 2021 and everybody has a phone, a laptop, an iPad or something like that. So being able to get your stuff on the go, that's the way of the future.
I agree 100%, and that's what we do. But not only my age group and demographic, but your age group and demographic probably is more in tune with the internet than you would necessarily be with like a cable news.
Most definitely. I mean, for some of my class, I'm young, I'm only 20 years old, but growing up around my parents and stuff like that, I got a much of an appreciation for the older things. So I sit down and actually do watch the news, the 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock news, the 10 o'clock news at night, because I like to know what's going on. But in terms of where I get my spur of the moment, quick hits and everything like that, that's all through social media, through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, different things like that. Especially like us, that's become a career path now. You can go into being a full-time YouTuber.
Yeah.
You could go into being a full-time social media personality, an influencer and stuff like that. That's stuff that people say, oh, that's just a pipe dream. It's actually not. It's actually real lucrative once you get these monetization numbers in and everything like that. Start getting these brand deals and everything like that. It's the way to go, in all honesty.
It's definitely the way advertising's going. So Brandon, you're in your junior year.
Yeah.
So you have one more year, right?
Yep, one more year to go, and it's it's crazy to think about. I remember the first day I walked into here, and now it's getting to the point where I'm getting ready to pass the torch on and walk out of these doors and go into the real world, which I'm really excited for. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I like money. So
what?
I don't think it's a secret. I like money. So being able to go into the real world and apply the things that I've learned through here, and I'm more of a, the books are cool, but I'm more of a putting my hands on stuff type of thing. So trial and error. Okay, if I push this button, what happens? Type of thing. It's cool to read it in the book. That's perfect, actually. It's preferred. But me being able to get it out and dirty, being able to touch stuff, being able to just do. I'm a doer. I like to do things. I like to be able to say, okay, if we do this like this, how is this going to look?
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't work out so good. Let's try it again this way. Okay, that looks better. How can we always steadily improve it? You never want to settle, Tommy. That's something that I firmly believe stagnation is bad. So as long as you always improving, I mean, it's exciting.
So I'm going to do two things. So first off, I want to congratulate you on being one of the finalists for Student of the Year.
I appreciate that.
That is a huge honor.
I appreciate that. Well, actually, I didn't know that Student Employee of the Year was a thing until Monday when they emailed me and told me I was a finalist for it. And once I started reading the information that they put about me, I was just like, I just show up and come to work. And honestly, I just show up and come to work. And then going back to what I said about stagnation, I come in here wanting to learn new things every day. So I guess my higher ups, Lance, you realize that, and I got nominated for it, and I'm definitely, I put in the work. I'm not one of those people that would just scoff at the, magnitude of that. It's definitely a big accomplishment internally for me, letting me know that I'm on the right path doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
No, be proud of yourself for that. So last question, I'm putting you on the spot because this guy doesn't get enough credit and he needs it.
I got you.
Talk to me about Lance.
Lance, wow. Lance is an awesome, awesome guy. So Lance is a person with a great story. Lance started off doing the radio and DJ thing in his undergrad. Then he went on and started to get his different type of accreditations and degrees and things like that. And when I first met Lance didn't know my name for the first week when I was here, And I had came in before, and Lance was like, "Oh, he'll be nice. He'll say, oh, hey," but he didn't know your name. I was just telling one of our new girl, Hannah Roberts. She's up and coming. I was just telling her that story. So Lance doesn't know your name the first week. And
he doesn't bother with you on the first week, right?
Nah. He just deals with the people. You know what I'm saying?
He big leagues you.
Yeah, he gives you your rookie moment. You know what I'm saying? He's like, "You here? Cool. Do I have class? You have my class?" No. Lance doesn't find out your name until you do something worth finding your name out about. So we're in here trying to come with programming the first week of school. Me, Shannon Raw, we come up with the current football preview. Lance starts saying it. He's like, "Oh, this is Brandon." Then it starts going into Brandon, and then I became the station manager. And it's like, Lance and me we became, he's more than just, an overseer type of figure. He's down in the trenches with me. He loves to learn.
There's no doubt. He is in the trenches.
Yeah, he's down in the trenches with me. He loves to learn. So Lance is a great teacher. Lance is a great, he's like a sponge himself, but he's also like a water spout. He's good in inputting knowledge, inputting his input, and not, being hammered down with it. He's more of a, "Hey, have you tried this? Hey, have you tried that?" And if it's something I found out that he didn't know, "Hey, show me how you did that," type of thing. So Lance is a great person, but definitely a great teacher.
So I can tell you that the way the analogy you just used about the water spout is awesome. I've been knowing Lance since day one, and we've been doing this too. Lance is always reluctant to get in front of the camera. But what he does and how he never complains and he drives this is pretty amazing. So I want to thank Lance too.
Yeah, definitely.
Want to thank you. And you still have one more year with me.
Yeah, I still got one more year to go.
Maybe we can start pushing it a little bit further, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, always looking to go high.
Perfect. Well, Brandon, thank you. And I'll see you around.
See you around, Tom.
So thanks. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with Mr. Greg Stock.
Welcome to All In, your one-stop shop for all of Nichols news. You're listening to 91.5 KNSU-Television, your local alternative.
You got haters, but raise both hands up if you know that you're greater. Now raise one hand up if you know you got haters, but raise both hands up if you know that you're greater than them.
In South Louisiana, a place where family is everything and our culture deeply rooted. Our spirit unites us all. our community continues to come together to make a difference. Dr. Clune has once said,
Colonels, during this crisis, we can get by or we can get better. We choose to get better.
and although we may stand 6 feet apart, our spirit has never been stronger. Our faculty and staff are dedicated to our students and community. We are working remotely, developing better academic programs, creating a better student experience, building better facilities, finding a way to keep costs low, and finding more options to keep us connected during this crisis. When we emerge, and we will emerge, we will be back, Colonels, stronger and better than ever.
Welcome back, and we are now joined, it's an honor to be joined with Mr. Greg Stock, who is CEO of Thibodeau Regional Health Systems and the architect of the campus that has become central to our community, not only to Thibodeau, but to the entire area. So, Greg, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Good. Great.
Thanks for braving the weather to get in here.
Yeah, it's wet out there.
Greg, I know there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things that we could talk about, but I think the one that's on the top of everybody's mind right now is the Cancer Institute. Yeah. So can you tell us where we are?
Yeah, sure can. So the Cancer Institute is a $50 million building. It's 4.5 stories tall. It's just under, it's 90,000 square feet. It will provide for radiation oncology, other types of technical equipment, diagnostic therapeutic equipment, like CT scanners and so on, and all the medical oncology elements that are important in cancer care. Mm-hmm. The medical oncologists themselves, we have 5 of them now, will be there. So they'll see patients there, but also the infusion and other work that's done in there will be done there. The building is, I hope that people feel this way about it when they actually come into the building, that it has a great feel to it. A great feel, if I could try to define it, would be that I call it a clean, well-lighted place. Okay, so there's a lot of natural light that building's flooded with from the atrium. When you come into the building, you're going to see an atrium that runs a full length from top to bottom. And then the exterior walls have really quite a bit of light that comes in. So the chemo areas, chemo treatment areas, cancer patients, they're in a difficult place. It's not an easy life for them. And so we believe philosophically that natural light and just the openness and so forth helps a little and to create an atmosphere of they feel they're getting state-of-the-art care. The other parts of that are the state-of-the-art care, are the clinical outcomes and so forth that we're able to achieve. The building is about $50 million, as I said, and then it will be, if it's completed on time, completed in that September time frame. Right now, we're looking at open house dedication the first week in November.
That'll be a pretty quick turnaround from start to finish,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
the guys that build it, there's a lot of subcontractors and the general contractors from across the lake, but I want to comment, can I comment on that just for a 100%. Moment or two?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of really great subcontractors from right around here that have contributed to that building, and what I see there, it feels great to me, is that they take a lot of pride in what they do. They're meticulous about their work, and the generals commented on that, you know. People don't think of cement maybe as that important. It's a pretty big item.
It's your foundation.
Foundation. A lot of cement between those layers of brick. If that cement is discolored or not quite right, you can see it when the building's complete.
Yeah.
So those guys have done an outstanding job, LeBlanc, and we appreciate that greatly. But they're one of those groups, and so, you know, cancer is. Let me stay on another subject, and that is, we have a pretty good sized cancer program. Actually, when you look at it, we do a lot of breast cancer. As one example, we do 5 times more than Mary Bird Perkins or any in this area. But
so wait, let me stop you.
Yes.
So 5 times more than Mary Bird.
Yes, in Homa.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I think there's more that going on there than maybe people think. The
No, I
old
think
building probably kind of
threw us off.
Yes. Good point.
So I want to comment, because when you talk about the local contractors and what they've been able to bring to you, I also want to tell you that I guess it's 3 years now that my father went through chemo at the old facility, and the one thing that I can tell you were the people there were amazing. They every time we went in, they made it just as easy as they possibly could for the situation. So I wanted to mention that to you.
First of all, thank you for that, and you've hit on a really critical matter. It's the buildings are one thing, the technology is one thing, the processes and all of that, but the people are the really heart of the matter.
Yeah.
So your chemo nurses, other staff members, anybody that greets you at the door, you know, they can kind of make your day, or if they're careless, they can make it not so great a day. And we go after and try to hire and retain people that care a lot, and they show it by their actions and their words.
Right. So are you gonna, when the building is complete, is there gonna be a need to bring in more staff, or are you staffed up to the point you need to already?
Yes. So our program has grown over time. Grew 20% last year.
Wow.
And so
along the way, where are you operating right now? Where's the?
Well, we're operating right behind the new cancer center in a building that we renovated that was a rehab type building.
Okay, all right.
It actually, it's amazing because we had a lot of anxiety that it would be how well it would work, but it's worked pretty good.
Yeah.
The staff, you know, they've helped make it work. But yeah, so at the end of the day, when you consider everything, there's a lot of different things in that. It's probably another 100 jobs or so.
Wow. So in totality, just in the Thibodaux area, what's a estimated number of how many people you employ?
Well, we employ about 1,400. Hospitals have a higher pay scale, generally speaking. We know this because we had Lauren Scott do the study.
Yeah.
You may have heard of it.
Sure, absolutely.
So our payroll this year is 110 million. So it's I was talking to our superintendent of schools the other day. They employ about 2,300, 2,200, somewhere in there. They're the largest employer in terms of bodies, you know. Their payroll is around 90 million. So as we bring more physicians in, and we've done a lot of that, 30, by this summer it'll be 32 new doctors in an 18 to 24 month period. There'll be more than that actually. And then there's staff that work with them, that you hire. Some of those are what we call mid-levels. They're nurse practitioners, PAs and stuff. They make pretty good living. And nurses and staff and technical people and all of that, the economic impact is really pretty stout.
No, it definitely is.
If we take the payroll, of the hospital payroll, the physician group's payroll, which is significant. You take the construction that's been done and being done and planned. Now we started paying taxes, when we became a 501.
Right.
We paid $4.2 million in taxes. The city gets about
When you switched from a service district?
last October 1.
October, okay.
So the service district still owns the hospital. They own everything.
Okay.
We've created a 501 that leases it. But everything is here.
Understand. Okay.
It's not controlled by somebody out of Metairie or Baton Rouge or
Everything's local.
everything. All the dollars stay here. And it reverts back to the parish at the end of it, like a 30-year lease.
Okay.
So that's just basically how it works. But when we did that, even though we became a 501c3 nonprofit, not-for-profit healthcare
Right.
organization, we have to pay taxes. So that ended up being a little over $4 million. The numbers are something like this. The city got 1.9, the parish got close to that, and the state got the rest of it. So that's annual. Those are annual dollars. But anyway, when you aggregate all of that, it's a pretty big economic impact. It's more than you think. A dollar turns over, right? So
Yeah.
a contractor comes and they get paid, and then they pay their staff. Their staff pay their car notes, their house notes.
Mm-hmm.
Most people have them. They buy their groceries. They eat in the local restaurants. They buy clothes.
Yeah.
And then those people do the same thing.
Right.
So that effect, economic impact, is pretty considerable when you consider those three sources.
Greatly. I always think of, this block from Highway 1 to Acadia.
Yes.
That road.
Yeah.
Nichols and then the university.
Yes.
What an impact the two have. And before we get to that,
Yeah.
let's talk about, because there's equipment moving on phase 2 now.
Yes.
So how do we stand there?
Yeah. So phase 2 would be phase 2 of the wellness center.
Yeah,
right?
sorry, thank you.
Yeah. And we had things where we had to put an overburden, a lot of soil. People may have
Right.
seen that. That sat there. I had to sit there for like a year.
And
So-
that had to, right? That had to
It
for
did,
the
yeah.
structure, right?
Yeah. Civil engineers, we looked at that a bunch of different ways, and that's what it came down to. And then COVID, honestly, kind of
Sure.
also messed us up a little bit there. But so it ends up being 12 tennis courts, 12 sand volleyball courts, a turf playing field that's marked for football or soccer, and it has an 8-lane track around it. So all of that is built to NCAA standards, which are pretty onerous, we found out.
You think?
I thought it was more like Medicare regs. But it's on track to be open, the contract, by the end of January of next year, 21.
That's pretty aggressive as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, it is.
So when you complete that project, what will be the relationship between the hospital and Nichols State?
Sure, good question. So what we're hoping to do, that whole thing is about wellness, but it has a sports medicine element to it, and we do quite a bit of sports medicine. We do all the trainers at Nichols work for us. We have I don't know if people know that or not, and in many of the high schools and so on.
Well, and
And
all of the local orthos, you can see those guys at every sporting event as well.
And we work closely with them. They don't work for us. We help recruit those doctors into their practice. They're independent, but they're partners of ours.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys are very capable young orthopedic surgeons, fellowship trained, great guys. So with Nichols, it's we've started those conversations have started. They're not 100% complete, but I think very positive. Nichols could bring their tennis folks over because, honestly, they're not state-of-the-art tennis courts anywhere around here.
Right.
You can have tournaments, intercollegiate tournaments. Same with soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And same with beach volleyball is becoming a intercollegiate sport rapidly.
Pretty big.
Yeah, we started with, it was kind of a side event in a way, and I kept thinking about it, and we talked to people, and you see how it's emerged.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that is these same people, a lot of them that went to Nichols or grew up here, a lot of them are women, but guys like it too, mostly women, I'd say. They want to play some volleyball too after they get out of high school and college. They're
absolutely
capable of playing it, and it's a great sport.
Yeah.
So, but there's 100 things you can do inside of what I just said with regard to Nichols. Nichols is in my opinion, I've been here 30 years now, we've always tried to support Nichols.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are little things people don't see, but we want to do them. They may be vaccinating players or something, they're refinishing the court, the basketball team comes over and plays on our court, or the volleyball team. Lots of those little things that we do those because we want to have a great community, right? And
yes, sir.
we do them because Nichols is a very, very important part of our community, a very important part.
It is, and I'm glad, I think that's where we'll wrap this segment up,
Sure.
but I want to say, your facility is very important to our community, as well as Nichols State. And I think that the way y'all are able to work together makes that synergy so much easier for the community. Thanks for all that you've done.
Thanks for letting me come by.
Well, no, very much appreciated. You're welcome anytime you want to come. So,
all right, great.
Thanks for being here, Greg.
Thank you. All right, have a good one.
Yep. So that will wrap up our segment, and I want to take a quick minute to discuss a tragedy that we're all aware of. And I looked up the definition of a hero, and a hero is a person who, in the face of danger, combats adversity through fear of ingenuity, strength, and courage. And if you haven't heard, we have our very own heroes here in Thibodaux, one who gave his life in an endeavor to try to save someone else's, and that's Lane Gravois. Lenny and Christy are some of the finest people you will ever meet, and so was Lane. And I think that I couldn't end this program without asking everybody who's watching to please keep that family in your prayers. What they're going through, no one ever wants to go through. But I think it's also very important that we remember that what he did was not in vain. What he did was something that we hope that we all would do in that situation, but he did it. And I think as we remember Lane, we remember the fact that he was a quiet hero and someone we all can look up to. So God bless Lane, Lenny, and Christy and their whole family. And hope you all have a blessed day.